All right, we're here to break down the latest in AI, giving you a complete 360-degree view of everything happening in the market, in research, and in policy. Let's jump right in. And I want to kick things off with this quote from IEEE Spectrum, because it just nails the moment we're in. AI is insatiable. And look, this isn't just about data anymore. It's about an endless hunger for compute power, for energy, and for new places to apply it. That idea, that insatiable appetite, is what's driving everything we're about to talk about. So here's the big takeaway right up front. AI is officially out of the lab. It's not just theory anymore. It's being put to work everywhere, in the real world. Now that shift is creating these massive opportunities, but it's also forcing us to deal with some brand new challenges around safety and how we all get on the same page globally.
First up, let's follow the money. Where's the real momentum? We're going to look at the huge deals shaping the industry, and then we'll check out the cool new tools popping up from the ground up.
What's fascinating is that the AI market is kind of stretching in two different directions at the exact same time. On one side of the coin, you have these monster infrastructure deals, right? Like Anthropic teaming up with Google and Broadcom just for pure, raw computing power. But on the other side, you've got these super specific niche applications, like AltaDaily, which is using computer vision, teaching computers to see, to completely rethink the idea of a digital closet. So it's a race for both massive scale and for clever, focused applications.
And you see this trend playing out everywhere. You've got giants like AWS turning AI into products for basic business stuff. Meanwhile, you've got companies like Hugging Face building out the whole ecosystem, and OpenAI is pouring money into safety. The mission is pretty clear. Make AI useful, make it accessible, and hopefully make it safe, all at once.
But, to really get a gut feel for where all this is going, you have to look at the absolute explosion of new tools hitting the market. Seriously, Product Hunt is an amazing window into this creative chaos.
For example, we're seeing tools pop up that are all about reliability. Take Flow Pulse. It's a simple idea, but it's so important. It just watches your automated systems and lets you know if they suddenly go quiet, so you don't have these silent failures that you don't notice for days.
Then there are all these new tools for personal growth. PhoneticAI lets you practice your English with an AI that actually remembers your past conversations. It learns from you, so the whole experience gets more and more personalized.
And we're also seeing tools that give AI agents, you can think of them as little autonomous bots, brand new skills. A great example is OpenBrowserAI, which literally hooks an agent up to a web browser so it can go out and interact with the world.
And when you look at all these together, the bigger picture just clicks into place. See, AI isn't some separate thing anymore. It's being woven right into the fabric of everything. It's becoming a fundamental layer of pretty much all new software.
Okay, so let's shift gears and head to the research frontier. This is where the foundations for tomorrow's products are being built. After all, today's wild research paper is next year's killer app.
So one of the absolute biggest challenges for researchers right now is memory. How do you build an AI that actually remembers you? One that learns from your last conversation and keeps that context, instead of hitting the reset button every single time you talk to it.
Well, people are tackling this problem head-on with some really cool new designs, like something called MeMachine. The best way to think about it is like a really sophisticated memory system for an AI brain. It combines short-term memory, long-term memory, and even a profile about you to stop that annoying memory loss we've all seen. This is a huge step toward agents that are actually useful.
And this whole focus on memory, it's really just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. Researchers are pushing forward on every front, making AI interact with the real world, making it more personal by learning from our stuff, giving it better reasoning skills, and, this is a big one, making it provably reliable. So what this really tells us is that the whole field of academic research is growing up. The focus is shifting from, hey, look what we can do, to solving the really hard, practical problems. Questions like, how do we make sure these things are safe? How do we deal with their insane demand for energy? And what is all this actually doing to our society?
And that brings us perfectly to our final section. How in the world are we trying to write the rulebook for this technology while it's still being built? Let's talk about policy.
One of the biggest things happening here is the EU AI Act, and it's not just about rules for Europe. A huge goal is to bridge the Atlantic, to create a common playbook for how to govern AI that other countries, like the US, can actually get on board with.
And you know what? The approach seems to be getting a lot more practical. The newest ideas are about simplifying the rules and, this is really important, delaying the start date for the high-risk AI systems. This gives everyone, developers, regulators, all of us, some breathing room to actually get ready. It's a much more measured way of doing things.
But here's the catch. While all the policymakers are wrestling with these abstract challenges, AI is slamming into a very real, very physical wall. And that brings us right back to where we started, AI's insatiable appetite for energy. The carbon footprint from the data centers powering this whole revolution is just staggering. So, what's the answer? Well, some really interesting research suggests that decentralization might be a key. The idea is, by moving away from these gigantic, power-guzzling data centers and spreading the work out over tons of smaller systems, we might be able to seriously cut down on AI's energy bill.
And that, right there, brings our 360-degree look full circle. We went from the market, where huge compute deals are powering tiny specialized apps, to the labs, where researchers are literally building AI memories, all the way to the global policy debates and the very real physical limits of energy that sit underneath it all.
So I'm going to leave you with this one final thought to chew on. As these AI systems get more and more complex and woven deeper into our lives, are we paying enough attention to the quiet failures? Maybe the biggest danger isn't some spectacular Hollywood-style AI takeover. Maybe it's a slow, silent erosion of good decisions, failures that we don't even notice are happening until it's far too late. What do you think?